Welcome to my channel, Lainey's Beads and Bliss. I'm Lainey, and today, you guys, we are going to be working on a project with our Winterberry Wishes Collection. Okay, so I have decided to make a necklace, and as you can see, I've got some things here on my bead mat. I did come up with a little design, so we're going to see if we can get that accomplished today. So the first thing that I want to do for my necklace is I want to make a pendant. So I have got a piece of bronze wire. This is 20 gauge, and we are going to use this to make our pendant. So first things first, we are going to make a wrapped loop for this because we want it to be nice and strong. It's going to be hanging. So we're going to go about maybe 2 inches down on our wire, and we are going to turn it over like so. You guys see? Turn your wire like this. And then we are going to need our round nose pliers because we're going to need to make a loop. I want to make this a pretty decent size loop because it will be hanging off of our necklace and off of some chain. So put that on here, and then we are going to turn our pliers this way so that we can continue to make our circle, and you should have something like this. So we will then grab this and we are going to wrap. Now you want to do this the way that it's most comfortable for you. I always switch because I am right hand dominant. So I like to hold my things with my left hand and then do my wrapping with the right. Now, I am going to go ahead and wrap this around. We're going to do 3 wraps. There's 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so we're at the back. We're going to cut this off right at the back. Guys, be sure to protect yourself when you're cutting. Okay, now we are also going to need to smash this down because we don't want any little sticky bits. Okay, so what this is actually called is burnishing, but with this kind of wire we have to be careful because this is tarnish resistant wire, and it's got a coating on it. So we have to be careful with it so that we don't mar it. So we're going to be very gentle and just smash that down, just so we don't feel any rough parts. All right, so that is going to be the bottom, and we're going to be hanging something off of that too. But this is what I was thinking for our pendant. So we've got all these pretty blue beads, and we are also going to use our grapes. We're going to use our grapes. Yes, that's what I'm calling it today. All right, so I need these 2. I did try to pick out a couple of the darker beads that were in our little mix. So I'm going to start with one of these. Then I'm going to do a blue because I was really liking that blue and purple together, you guys. And then we're going to do a bead cap. They gave us lots of bead caps to work with, so let's use them, why don't we? All right, and then we're going to put our bead on there. Another bead cap. Then we're going to put our blue bead on. If I can find the hole, very good. And then another bead. So this is going to be the beginning of our pendant. If I can find the hole, you guys. You know what? Let me go ahead and flush cut this because we're not going to fight it. We are not going to fight this piece of wire today. All right, let's try this one more time. Oh. This is crazy. This is not one. All right. Let's pick another one. Here we go. Perfect. All right. So now we need to make our wrap loop on the top. So when we're making our wrap loop, we're going to put our pliers right here on this bead. Okay? And we are just going to flip this right over. This is going to give us our space that we need to make our wrap loop. So we're going to put our pliers in here like so. And you want to try to make about the same size loop as you had on your bottom, right? Right here on the bottom. So here we go. We're just going to bring this right over like this, same as before. Turn your pliers and bring that wire around like so. And see, again, we have our little circle. Okay? So we're going to grab it. And guys, I am totally no good at wrapping this stuff with my hands. I always use my pliers. Seems sometimes my hands just get in the way. Okay, so here we go. Wrap 1, 2, and 3. There's 3. Now, as you can see right here, it went a little bit beyond where I wanted it to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my other pliers for leverage. And I'm just going to push this up just a little bit. Very gentle movement. Now we can smash that down. See? And now we have a good wrap. All right. So now we can cut this off at the back. All right. We can straighten up our little loop here. And just make sure that nothing's sticking out. Gotta smash that little piece down in there. Alright, there we go. Now, if your circle gets wonky, you can just put your pliers in here. Straighten it out. This also helps to work harden it a little bit, but this is what we want. Alright, so there is the start of our dangle. Now, we are also going to make some dangles for our pendant. And I thought it would be fun to use these little pine cones. Yes, pine cones. And we will need some of the head pins. These came in the box. And we are going to use some of our little bead mix we got. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to alternate these colors a little bit. I've got some extras up here. Because what I was trying to do is like maybe do a light and a dark, and a light. Okay, like so. A light, and I'm doing 5. Light and a dark. And this one does not want to fit, as you can see, so we'll try another one. That's why I kept some extras out, you guys. Things like this happen. Yes. And that one doesn't even want to go all the way on there either. It's happening. As I told you guys time and time again, this is real jewelry making. Alright, let's see. So let's get these out of the way because they are not working for us. And these head pins are kind of thick, you guys, so it's good. They're good and strong. Okay. So like I said, when I'm doing things like this, I like to do an assembly line. just makes things a little bit faster. All right. And as I also told you guys, we want to work in odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, right? All right. So there's the beginning of our little dangles. And we're going to use our one-step looper today. So guys, this is our one-step looper. This is the 2.25 millimeter loop. And this is going to help us make quick work to make these dangles. So we're just going to put it in our tool. You guys see that there is a hole right here. You guys see the hole? So you're going to put your wire through that back hole. Now remember, when you're using this one-step looper, you don't want to smash your beads. So you need to pull back just a little bit off of it before you start pushing to make your cut. So when you cut, it is going to cut your wire here for you. You can hold on here and bring it down. As I said, if you feel like you are too close and you're going to hit your bead, you can definitely pull back on it and close it. You can also see that I was pulling this bead back as I was shutting this down. So now we have our little loop. Now, is it perfectly closed? No, it's because I've got beads on here, but we can close it down like so and just give it a little squeeze to make sure that it's closed. So we're going to do that for all 5. I did one slow so you guys could see. I'll do one more. Okay, put your beads in. Wire should be coming out of the back here. Making sure that your bead is not too close to the metal. And then you're just going to bring it around. It makes the cut for you. Close it gently, pulling back on my beads so that they're centered. And there we go. Okay, there is our loop. And I always go back and touch my loops one more time anyway. So this is fine that it's leaving them open because we will get it. All right, here we go. Finish these up. Just take our time. Find our bliss, take our time. Yes. Here we go. And you guys, I didn't make these ahead of time because I wanted to show you guys how to do this. One more left. I hope you all are doing wonderfully today. It is Sunday. It's almost time to go back to real life, go back to work, get folks ready for school and all the things. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. And I hope that you're able to take some time to hang out with me. Yes. All right, so we've got our dangles. I've also got some jump rings here. I actually need a few more. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to have one of my pine cones on one jump ring. I'm going to take this jump ring and I'm going to put it right through here. We're going to close that up. We want to make sure there's no air in there. Check it from all the angles. When you're trying to get these closed up, sometimes you have to take a little pressure to make sure that is closed. That's good and closed. So we've got on our first little dangle. So for our second one, we're going to put another dangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through that jump ring. We're going to put our dangle on. And we're going to go through this jump ring. And hopefully we'll have one on each side. And you see how it makes them hang a little bit differently? See, we've got our low hanger one and then we've got one up here. One more of these. I'll open this up. We're going to put on our pine cone. And then we are going to find the other side and we're going to put on our other dangle. But that's not all, you guys, because while this is fine and good, we're going to give it a little bit extra. So what I want to do from here is I am just going to take my little dangles here and we're going to hang them directly on. So I'm going to open it up and we're going to put one right here on this jump ring on this side, and we are going to close that down. Okay, it's looking cute already. All right, so we also want to put one on this side right here. You see, we've got our jump ring, we've got our pine cone in the middle, we're putting a dangle over here and a dangle over here. Okay. So, we've got our pine cone isolated, and we're just going to close this down like so. Alright, and we are going to do the same thing on this one. Open. I find the other side of our pine cone, like so. And close that down. Alright, and then we're going to go to the other side, because why not? It's going to be pretty. Just a little extra embellishment right there. Alright, so we've got this one. We need to put it right on this ring right here. And we'll close it up. So we've got one dangle left. And we're just going to put that on our center jump ring. Okay, here's our center jump ring. We'll just stick that one right on that center one. You guys see that? Right on the center. And then we can close it down. And this is what we've got. We've got our little dangle. It's got our pine cones on there and some of our little components. Cute, right? All right. Well, we are going to come back to this shortly. So now we can actually start on our necklace. So for the necklace, guys, I wanted to use our purple beads here again. I have got some 7-strand bronze beading wire. Now, I am going to use my bead bug. We're going to need our bead bugs because we are going to start in the middle and work out, but we've got some things that we want to add. So, we're going to start with our focal being one of our purple beads, these 10mm ones. And then we're going to put on our bead cap. One more bead cap. Okay, this is where we start. Now, we need a place to hang our dangle. I want this to be centered. So, what I've done is I have cut some pieces of our chain that we got in the box. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 links. Okay, 8 links. And I've got a couple of jump rings. So what I'm going to do, now we have to make sure these are good and closed, because if they are not, our wire will come through and this will not, it'll fall off. It'll fall off the wire. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to open our jump ring. Okay, and we're going to place a piece of our wire on here. And we're going to place it right on that wire. And let me get this turned around so I can, well, you know what? Let's do it this way. This is even easier. We'll go ahead and close this up. Make sure that it's good and closed. And then we can just slide it on. All right. Good and closed. Check it from all the angles to make sure. Because you see, if you don't do it just right, that wire could slip right through. So I want to make sure. So that's good. So now we can slip this on our wire right here. Like so. That's going to hang down right there. Let's do our other piece of chain. Okay. And I hope you guys cannot hear the football in the background. The hubby is home from hunting and he is now watching football. Okay. So there we go. Now let's put our other piece of chain. So this is what we're looking like. Okay? So we're going to leave that for right now, and we're going to continue on with our pattern. So these little lepidolite, I believe that's how that is pronounced. All of these are going to be in between bead caps. All of our beads on this part are going to be between bead caps. That's just going to give a little something to the design. And you guys, I'm really and truthfully only using things that came in the box other than the wire I'm using. And as I said, this is a 7-strand, just bronze color wire. All right. And we'll put our bead cap on this side. And this is what we have to start. Okay. Now, thought I'd get a little fancy. And we're going to use some of our little faceted beads. So I'm going to work from both sides, and we're going to do the same thing on each side. These little things are so tiny. Okay. I also wanted to bring in some of these beautiful leaves that came in the box. Those are so pretty with that purple and the blue and all the colors in there. So we're going to string these on as well. And in between each one, I'm going to put one of those little crystals. 1. And we're going to do 3 on each side. All right, 3 on that side. And we're going to end that out with one of our little beads here. This is our little station. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I like working from the middle, guys, because it's easier to keep up with what you're doing if you don't have to remember what you did. You do it at the same time. Same time, man. Same time. There we go. All right. And our last one. Okay. So now I need to put our final bead here, but now I want to bring in some of that blue, right? Because we've got blue in our dangle. We're going to put some blue in our necklace as well. And I love this purple and this blue together. And I think that the blue shimmer that comes out in these leaves is just so pretty. Okay, so now we're going to do another of these. One more of these. And then we're going to do another set of these. So we're going to start with our bead cap. I'm going to go with our purple bead. I'm not going to keep on saying the true name of it. And guys, coming up, we are going to do some bead education because I was struggling this month with saying the beads in this box. Sometimes the struggle is real, y'all. But I'm still learning too. I've not been doing this too long, a few years. But I am still learning about the beads and all the things. And I find it just wonderfully fascinating and fun that something that you can take out of the ground as a rock can become something so beautiful. So beautiful. All right. Another set of bead caps that go around our middle. And one more of our purple. Do y'all think it's too many bead caps? I like the way they sit together like this, don't you guys? Isn't that pretty the way they sit together? All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bead bug. No, I'm not. Let's go ahead and finish out the strand. So we've got one of our purple, another of our purple, a blue, and a blue, all right. And then we're going to finish out with a couple of our beads here. All right. So this is going to be the base of our necklace. So I'm going to bead bug it because we got a little work to do left with our dangle. Okay? So what I'm wanting to do is I'm going to hang our dangle from our chain. Okay, so I want to straighten this out as best as I can. Okay, here is our dangle, and it's going to hang like this. You guys see? It's going to hang like that. All right, you guys. So now we have our chain here. And we are going to connect our dangle. So I'm just going to use a jump ring. So open our jump ring. And we are going to put, let's put our dangle. And then we'll put a piece of chain on this side. And we'll put a piece of chain on this side. And hopefully it will allow this to hang properly. So get it closed up. Alright, all closed up. So that is going to be our dangle. And this is what it's going to look like. It's going to hang this way. And it doesn't really matter, guys, which way this one hangs, because any way that it hangs is going to be the right way. Alright, so now that we have our necklace done, we can close up our ends and put our chain on. So there's several different ways we could do this. However, today I'm going to use a wire guardian and some jump rings, and we will attach our chain that way. All right. So we do have some extra wire because you guys know we need a little extra wire just in case. And I had one of my subscribers reach out, and she was talking to me about wire guardians and crypt tubes. Okay, so I was telling her that all crypt tubes are not created equal. So these are the ones that I use. These are the Bead-A-Lawn crimp tubes number 2. These are very strong, very good crimp tubes. She was also saying that maybe it was her tool. Well, this is the crimper that I use. This came from Amazon, very inexpensive, one of the most inexpensive. I've had this one since I started making jewelry, you guys. I've gotten some more things because there are other ways, but we're gonna do it this way today so we can see how it works. So I'm just gonna take out a couple of crimp tubes here. Get one more just for funsies. Just in case something doesn't work. Guys, this is real jewelry making. Things can happen, right? So she was saying that her guardians never hold and her crimps break. So I was saying that I think maybe it could be the quality of the actual crimp tube. So the way that you use a wire guardian, you can see here that the wire guardian has 2 holes. Let's zoom you in a little bit, see if you guys can see this. So there's 2 holes and there's a channel here. Okay, can you guys see the channel? So you put your crimp tube on, and then you put on your wire guardian, and it goes through both sides here. Okay, so it looks something like that. Okay, so it looks like that. You want to pull it up. I'm going to go ahead and stick on my jump ring, because as I said, that is how we are going to attach our chain. You're going to take your other end of your wire, put it through your crimp tube. Okay, and you're going to get it up as close as you can. Now you want to make sure that your wire is flush here, and you also want to try to make sure that your wires are not twisted. See, so it should look like this. You're going to scoot up your crimp tube as close as you can, and then you can just squeeze this down together like so. Now your crimping pliers, as you can see, has some ridges. Okay, so you have a ridge right here, and then you have another area right here. So when you are first crimping, you are going to put your crimp tube back here. Okay, so let's see how that works. Let's get our stuff back together over here. Make sure our wire is not twisted. Okay, so we're up there pretty close. So now you're going to take your crimp tube, you're going to put your crimp tube in that very first divot. And when you do this and squeeze, it's going to make a situation like this. Can you guys see that? How that is? Then, once you've gotten that part, you're going to go into your second area. So here is the second area, and what this is it smashes the crimp tube in and closes it like so. So now our crimp tube is all closed up. You guys see that? Okay, and this puppy is not going anywhere, trust and believe. Okay, now I do not like to leave these unfinished this way, so I am going to go ahead and put on a crimp cover. Now I'll let you know, I always have trouble with crimp covers, and if you have trouble with crimp covers, understood, because they can be a little crazy. So let's see if we can get this on here. So what you want to do is you want to put your crimp tube down into the opening of your crimp cover, like so. Okay, you guys see that? And I will use my crimping tool and just smash it a little. You don't want to do too much. You want to do this very slowly, because you just want to make sure. You can also do this with pliers, you guys. And I might finish up with pliers. But when you're finished with your crimp tube, your crimp cover, it should look like a bead. I'm just going to come in here with my pliers, work this around a little bit, just to get everything all closed up. And sometimes this takes a little finagling, but don't worry, you will get it. Alright, so now we've got on our crimp cover. So now we have our beads. Maybe, just maybe, it'll go through this bead. We'll see. Oh, it does. So I like to put through a couple beads. Okay, and then I will cut off any excess. So you get down as close as you can and snip. Now the rest of your beads can flow right up there. Okay, now we are going to do the same thing on this other side, but guys, we want to make sure that our necklace is not stiff. But as I told you guys prior, this 7-strand wire is typically stiff, okay? But we can do the best that we can by letting gravity help us out, remember? All right, so we're gonna put on our crimp tube. And then our crimp cover. We're going to run that right down through. Okay, now on this side, we are going to have to pull this down. So I like to hold my crimp cover, and I will take my other set of pliers and pull this down, because sometimes it can be a little hard to pull through there. Okay. So we're holding our wire guardian and we are pulling our wire down. But before we do everything else, we're going to put on our jump ring, and I'm going to make sure this jump ring is closed. Very well, because this wire is a thinner wire, and it could potentially go through our wire. But that's another reason that we use our wire guardian, because this will hold our jump ring. Okay? So now we're going to go back through our crimp tube. Pull this back a little bit. Just pulling it back a little bit so we can have some room to work here. So I'm putting this through our crimp tube. Okay. Pull it through. We've got our wire guardian up here. Make sure our jump ring is in there. And again, I'm going to run this through a few beads See if it'll work on this side. Because some of these beads, you saw I was struggling a little bit trying to get them on that head pin. Some of the holes are a little bit bigger than others. And this might be one of them. Come on, go in there. Okay, it's not gonna go. So, it's okay. The reason that we do that is because sometimes that wire, when we cut it, can be a little sharp. We just want to make sure there's no sticky parts to irritate somebody's neck, right? All right, so I'm going to try to circle up my necklace here so that we still have movement. Okay. So we've got our wire guardian and we have got our crimp tube. Our wires are not crossed. So we're going to go into our first divot, like I showed you. And we're going to squeeze. Okay. And then we go into our second divot. And we are going to squeeze again. And that closes up our crimp tube. I am going to go ahead and snip my wire here. I'm going to try to get as close as I possibly can. Because, like I said, we don't want that wire sticking anybody. Okay. Well, let's try again with our crimp tube. I lost it. Where did you go, little crimp tube? Oh, it's stuck in my hand, y'all. That's what happened last time when I couldn't find my lobster claw clasp. I mean my clamshell closure. Remember, it was laying up here and I didn't even see it. What a mess. All right. So here we go. I'm going to put this on here. This crimp cover is looking a little crazy. All right. So now I can close it. And this is one of the reasons. Excuse me, guys. This is one of the reasons that I don't like crimp covers, because they do not like to cooperate at all. Okay. We're just trying to get this closed up so that it looks like a bead. And I think this one was bent or something, because that is not looking good. However, I just want to kind of to show you guys I will probably go back and take this off and do it again. But for our purposes today, just so I can show you, that's how you use it. That's how you use the crimping tool and those wire guardians and the Bead-A-Lon number 2 crimp tubes. Guys, you can get these on Amazon. They come in a 4-pack. Okay. They're about $8 or $10, I think. But they are really good. And they last you a long time. Alright, so we need to see how long our necklace is going to be. I want to do about I think an 18. So let me see where it is on me. Oh, that's going to be cute. All right. So what we can do to figure out how much we need of our wire is we'll get out our little trusty Love Beyond measure, tape measure. And we'll kind of go from our center bead to the end where our jump ring is. Okay, so that's about 4.5. And we want about 9 and 9. So if we're looking here, 9 and 9 is 18. So that's the size of necklace. Oops, sorry, I'm off camera. Let me show you. So I've got my chain right here. Okay. Here's our jump ring. So if we go about to the middle of that bead to 9, 9 and 9 is 18. Now when we put our clasp on, that's going to give us a little bit extra, but not too much. So I think we're good right here. And we can cut right at that number 9 mark. So I'm just going to snip this. Okay. So now we've got our one size of wire, and we can use this one to measure this other piece that we're going to use. So I have just this little piece of wire right here that I'm going to use. I'm just going to slide this on here, and I'm going to slide this one on here. So this way you'll know if your pieces are equal. So if we run this down, we are going to find that last link, and I believe it's right here. So I'm going to cut right here, and then we'll test to make sure. If we didn't get it, we can cut again. We can always use smaller pieces of wire to make dangles for earrings or any number of things. Okay. So just to make sure we're right. And we are. Very good. So now we've already got our jump rings on here. So let's open them up. And we'll put our chain on. Okay, we're just going to slide our chain on right here. And we can close that up. Make sure it's good and closed. Okay. And then we can do our other side. So I want you guys to tell me, do you guys like to use wire guardians? What do you guys use to connect chain and different things to your pieces? You can leave me some messages in the comments. I'd like to know what you guys are doing. I am going to do a tool video and show you guys what a bunch of tools are and how to use them. But I thought since I was here right now, I could go ahead and answer one request anyway from one of my subscribers. I love that you guys are communicating with me. I really, really love it. It is really, giving me the wherewithal to go forward. And of course, I miscounted my jump rings again. So let me grab a couple. And I've got my beads all boxed up here from our collection. And I've just got my jump rings in here. Let's see. I would like, I don't want the really, really big ones. And actually, I want the smallest ones that I can use. So let's see if these little tiny ones in here will work. Because that will help our piece just be seamless. Yes, seamless. But it depends on how thick these things are as to whether or not that will work. So let's see. Now, I'm right-handed. So I always put, oh, you know what? Look. I was thinking too far ahead. I'm not going to use that big one. I don't think we need the big one. Alright. So let me bring you guys back up here. Alright. So these are tiny jump rings, you guys. I'm going to do my best, but I got big fingers. Alright, let's get that one open. Let's get our chain laid out here. And we are going to pick up that link. Okay. And then we're going to put our clasp on. This is called the bar. And we're just closing that up. And then we go to our other side. And these are tiny little things. They're probably like 4 millimeter, 3 millimeter. Alright. And when we're opening jump rings, we're doing this movement, right? Because we know if we pull it, it'll never come back into shape. So here's our chain. And here's our toggle. And these jump rings work just fine. These are thick and strong little jump rings too. Alright guys, so here is our necklace. I hope you like it. Let's go up a little bit. Let's see. Alright. We've got our little dangle. Our little pretty dangle. And the rest of our necklace looks like that. And I will try to take some pictures and show you guys what it looks like actually on a bust. We stick those back in there out of the way. We'll move our necklace over. And while we're here, why not let's make a pair of earrings to go with that? Yes. And why not? Alright, you guys. So I've got 2 head pins. Okay. They're in this bronzy color. This is going to be a simple pair of earrings. Okay. We're going to put one of our little beads on there. A bead cap. Now these bead caps did not come in this box. However, they did come from Bargain Bead Box. Love that place. It's awesome. And I don't know if you guys got it or not, but I've got a companion bundle coming. And you know, I don't know if you guys saw the sneak peek of what was going to be in there, but it's going to be pretty. Alright. So, stick earrings, as I make quite often. We're just going to make a simple loop. Alright. we need our cutters. I'm going to use my finger as a gauge. Right here. Okay. And then we need our looping pliers. Look at that. I've got remnants of things everywhere, y'all. Okay. So I am going to put my pliers right about here, because that is the general size for our loops. Alright, got us a pretty little loop going on right there. Now I think, and this always gets me too, you guys, this always gets me, whether or not one should be going flat this way and one going perpendicular this way. We can see which way we need to have it, because I am going to put on one of these little connectors here at the bottom, just for a little extra dimension on our piece. But we have to make sure that it hangs correctly. So let's close that up. Okay. This is what we've got. So let's finish making that part. Too many tools, too many tools. Alright. So I was using the darker ones here. And our bead cap. These bead caps are so pretty. Look at them. Aren't they pretty? Can you guys see it? All those little bumps on there and corrugations. Just gives that little extra something, I think. Alright. And we're going to put our other bead right on here. Thank goodness these fit, y'all. Yay! Okay, so this is what we've got. We're going to do our bend. We need to come a little bit above our bead because we do not want to crack it. Okay, now we can cut. So now we can turn, and we have our loop. Okay, so let's put our other end on here, just like we did before. Alright, so this is what we've got. And guys, I love dangles. So I am going to put a little dangle on here. Now I do have some 20 gauge wire, and I just need a couple little pieces. Just a couple little pieces. Nope, that is not what I want. I need a head pin, you guys. Hold on one second. Let me get a head pin. So right now, I am keeping my head pins in this little box. Look at that. All right, so good. I've got 2 head pins right here, and I am looking for a better way to store these. But until I get one, this will have to do. All right, so I've got 2 head pins, and these came from the Bargain Bead Box. 21 gauge brass head pins. Lead free, nickel free, cadmium free. I love that they let us know about that stuff. Alright. So, just gonna straighten these out a little bit. Doesn't need a lot. But if we do our pre-work first, makes things easier in the long run. Okay. So, I'm just going to take these two little beads right here. Put that on there. Put this one on here. Okay, I'm going to use my one-step looper again because we can. All right, so we've got our bead on there. Again, we are going to keep it so that it's not touching our bead out here on the edge. And we're just going to make us a little loop. Close it up. Now you see, that one didn't close well because there is that little bead on there. See how it didn't close? You guys see that? Okay. But as I told you, we can always manually close these. Alright, we'll try one more time. We'll put our wire through this back. Make sure that our bead is not too close, because we don't want to break it. And then we're just going to do that very slow movement until we get it closed up. Now, if you feel that thing touch your bead, stop, pull it out, and you can close it manually. Okay. All right. So here's our little dangle. And we're just going to stick it right on there, like so. That's what we've got, our little dangle. Open it up. We'll put on our other one. Okay. So what we want this to be pretty seamless. So we're going to make this the front of our earring, and when it hangs, we want this part to hang straight like so. Okay, so let's see this one. Okay, there's our cut in the back, so we want it like this. Okay. So when we put our ear wire on, we might have to do some finagling a little bit. Okay, so we'll see. So usually when I open my ear wire, of course you're going to open it this way, and this is the way that it's going to hang. Okay, like this. So when we put our piece on, here's the back, here's the front. So we want to make sure that that's on there correctly. Okay, so when our earring is hanging, it will hang like this. Pretty. Okay. And we will do our other one. Open that up. Now see, this one looks not right. So we'll put it on here. See, that was going to be at the back. But we can very easily fix that. Alright, so our earring is supposed to hang this way. Oh, that's gonna hang correctly. Yay! We did it, y'all. You made it through another tutorial. We made a necklace and we made a pair of earrings. How pretty. I think those are going to look super cute together. What do you guys think? You can leave me a message in the comments. Let me know if you like the design. I hope you do. I I had fun making it with you guys. And we got our little dangle with our little pine cones. Let me pull back on this thing here so you guys can see everything. There we go. There's our necklace. I'm going to take a picture of it on the bus so you guys can see what it looks like while it's hanging. I hope you enjoyed our little tutorial today. There will be more coming soon. Like I said, I am going to be doing a tool video for you guys and showing you guys how to use some of the tools and what they are and how they're used for those of you that are new to jewelry making, right? And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And please like, subscribe, share my videos. I am so proud of the subscribers that I already have. I'm so happy that you guys are connecting with the work and the things that I am doing. Keep the comments coming. I'm answering comments every single day that I get them. So if you ever have any questions or anything that you guys want to talk about, I'm happy to help in any way that I can. I love you guys and my Bliss Beauties. Please go sign up for the newsletter. It is going to be coming out starting in December. And thank you all so much. Find your bliss right here on your bead mat. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.